But I want to share with you today is where the children of Israel dwelt in their captivity, and they were living in an area of land that was called the land of Goshen. But Goshen was located in Egypt. And Pharaoh had the children of Israel under bondage, and they were working themselves pretty much to death for Pharaoh. But there were some things that happened in Egypt, and it has concerning with where the children of Israel dwelt in the land of Goshen. And it's a picture of where we dwell here on earth. It's, and I told you, it's setting up. It's our land of Goshen, our Garden of Eden, our promised land while we are here. Did you ever ask yourself what happened to the Garden of Eden? Where did it go? I tell you what, it didn't disappear, it just moved. I tell you where it was originally according to this scripture, if you follow the clues that are in the Word, it points to that the original Garden of Eden was located in the country of Iraq. And if I got this, I looked at my maps, but I couldn't find an ancient map old enough to show me what I wanted to know. But I thought, okay, Lord, you're not going to leave me here somewhere where it can't be proved that this is true. But we consider the Garden of Eden to have disappeared somewhere, dissipated. It no longer exists. It's not there. But it is there. But it's just changed its location. When Moses was dealing with Pharaoh, there were some things that happened that God said, you go to Pharaoh and you tell him, if he don't let my people go, there's going to be problems in the land. There will be, he told him, if Pharaoh, if you don't let the children of Israel go to worship me, the water is going to be turned into blood. And that's exactly what happened. The water turned to blood, and the word said that it gave an awful odor, and the Egyptians had no water to drink. But they did in Goshen. Now don't forget, Goshen is in Egypt. It's kind of like we said Lymburn was in Alberta. Well, Goshen was in Egypt. It was in an area where God's people dwelt, and the curse that came could not and would not affect them. Then it was frog time in Egypt. And Moses brought up the frogs, and if that wasn't bad enough, Pharaoh's magicians brought up frogs. So they had kind of a double whammy there. And frogs were all over. Frogs were in their house and in their beds and in their kneading bowls, and everywhere they turned, there were frogs. But not in Goshen. Isn't this amazing that where the children of God dwelt, these curses didn't affect them, but they were still in Egypt? Okay. Frogs in their beds, in their bed chambers, in their ovens. But there was not a frog in Goshen. And then Moses turned the dust of the earth into lice. And that lice got on man and beast. But not one lice in the land of Goshen. How is that possible? God knows what He's doing, and He's able to keep you and me in a place where all around us can be disaster and despair, and that's what it's like. It's almost like Egypt is all around us, but we dwell in a place where God's Spirit has covered us, and God won't allow these curses to come on us if we're walking and living where we ought to be walking and living. Okay. Then the flies came. There were swarms of flies, and there were flies everywhere and in everything. And the land was corrupted, the word says, by the swarm of flies. But not one fly in Goshen. Not one lice, not one fly in the land of Goshen. And then Pharaoh's cattle began to die, but not one of the Israelites' cattle died. But they were dying all over, all around, but not in Goshen. Then the boils came. And then hail came. But not in Goshen. Not in that place where God dwells. And if we can get to that place, if we can have that faith to believe, no matter what's going on around us, we are not going to be set upon by all of this wickedness and sin that's going on all around us. And locusts came. The word says they were brought in by the wind. And the locusts, like there had never been before, covered Egypt. But not one locust in Goshen. Then the darkness came. And the scripture says it was a thick darkness, a heavy darkness, for 3 days. In Egypt. But in Goshen, there was light. Then came the death angel. And because the children of Israel listened to the prophets that they had, they applied blood to the door post and the lintels of their house so that the death angel would pass over them. And when that time came, the death angel passed over the land of Goshen. Not one firstborn died in Goshen. But all around in Pharaoh's courts and Pharaoh's houses and the land of Egypt, the firstborn of the cattle, the firstborn of their children, all came to death because they were outside of that protected area that was the land of Goshen that belonged to the children of Israel, who were still slaves. Now, I've already told you, asked you that question, but I want you to follow this. First, Garden of Eden was in Iraq. The next time that it showed up was in the land of Goshen. And it showed up another time. It showed up in Jerusalem, Bethlehem, where Jesus came. And where he was, and where he ministered, and where he walked, and where he had his success was the Garden of Eden. He walked in that